Hello, my name is Kevin Peterson, and I'm the agency owner here with Globe Life Liberty National. First of all, I want to just say thanks for taking a few minutes to join me here. What I want to do is just do the best job that I can of explaining to you who we are, what we do, what the opportunities are, just kind of an informational video. Try to take 15 to 20 minutes and just go through some things that I think will be helpful for you. We won't spend a lot of time on any one particular slide. So if you want to, just take a screenshot of it, whether you be on your laptop or phone. That way you can kind of reference back to it. So what we'll do also at the very end of this is we'll send you a link for you to fill out, just kind of gauging your interest, in us. And then from there, what we'll do, I think it's very important that we'll do a final, just a one-on-one interview with you back on Zoom where we just kind of meet each other, ask each other some questions, and just see if we would be a good fit. Okay. I want to start off by just saying that, I was in full-time ministry for 25 years and never saw myself doing anything like I'm doing today. But when I resigned the ministry, I didn't really know exactly where I was going to go or what I was going to do. But I had an opportunity, and a friend of mine actually called me and said, "Hey, would you be interested in interviewing for Liberty National?" And I said, "Well, I don't know anything about them." He said, "Well, here's what they do." And I said, "Why would you ask me?" And he's like, "Well, you're good with people. You talk to people. You're outgoing and things like that. Plus, he said, you're not doing anything right now. So get your tail off the couch and go in for the interview." And I said, "Fair enough." And so I did. And so I joined the company then because of what I heard. And the main thing that I heard is I could be in charge of the money that I wanted to make and the income that I wanted to receive. I could also be in charge of, how far up with the company that I was able to go, right? So, and we'll talk more about those things in a minute, but I was able to go from an agent to an agency owner with just in about 24 to 26 months after starting with the company. So, yeah, so what I want to do is just kind of walk with you through some of those same opportunities that I had with you. All right. So again, take some screenshots. We'll answer any questions you have. So write some stuff down as we go through this. But let's go ahead and get started. Right. So this portion of our interview process is just really the virtual portion of it. So you've had we've contacted you either by text maybe or by a phone call. And so we've set this up and you joined our webinar here. We'll do a company overview as what we just walked through this. Just like I said, just more information for you so you can make an educated decision. We'll do that post overview assessment after this. And then we'll do some evaluating and callbacks based on the information that you give us. From there, we'll schedule that one-on-one interview back on Zoom, and we'll do that fairly quickly as we're looking to move forward, fairly quickly with a couple of candidates. Okay, so Globe Life is our parent company, right? Globe Life Liberty National. We are a division of Globe Life, and so they consist of 7 subsidiaries. With Globe Life, we have more than $227 billion worth of life insurance in force. We issue more ordinary life insurance policies every year than any other company in the United States. That just tells you kind of our strength and kind of what we do and how large of a company we are. We're a stable company. We have over 17 million policies in force. This is also very important. We are traded on the New York Stock Exchange, so look us up. Ticker symbol is GL. Do plenty of research on us, but we are traded on the New York Stock Exchange. So this is one of my favorite slides is because it talks about the strength of Globe Life and our brand, right? So these are some partnerships that we have. So we are the official life insurance company of the Texas Rangers. So if you're familiar with the Texas Rangers and where they play, it's called the Globe Life Field, right? And so for us, we have the naming rights to that field for 25 to 30 years. And so if you've ever been there or if you've seen the games played there, even when the World Series was won there, you saw Globe Life, Liberty National, or Globe Life Insurance Company all over the stadium throughout that time. We are also proud to be the official life insurance company of the Dallas Cowboys, baby. Listen, you may not like the Cowboys, you may hate the Cowboys, but you know who the Cowboys are, and you know how strong a name brand that is. And that just goes to show you kind of the money that we're putting into making sure that our brand recognition is strong for the people and the agents that join our company, right? You may be a Pittsburgh Steeler fan, you may be a Kansas City Chiefs fan. All that's good. We can still get along, but we are the official life insurance company of the Dallas Cowboys, right? So we're proud partners also of the Atlanta Braves. And then last but not least, it's very exciting for me is that we are the official life insurance company of the Los Angeles Lakers. How cool is that, you know? Yeah, so I've been to, I haven't been to the Lakers game yet, but I've been to the Rangers. We have a suite there, been there several times, been to the Cowboys, watched them in our suite many, many times as well. So, yeah, so these are just some cool branding partnerships that we have. So let's talk what we do. What do we do? We're going to provide benefits for individuals and working families. So mainly life insurance is about 85 to 90% of what we offer. We do have accident and health plans and cancer plans and critical illness plans. Those are just some of the supplemental sides that we do offer. So let's say, how do we do what we do, right? So this webinar, this informational webinar is really for anyone that's wanting to work from home, a remote position, right? So the work schedule for our remote team is going to be Monday to Friday, 12 o'clock noonish up until about 8:30 p.m. And then Saturday, it's going to be, 9 to 1, especially for those maybe that still want to hit bonus. You've had a great week. You don't have to show up on that Saturday, but let's say you still want to hit bonus. We're going to have Zoom open for you because we're all together on Zoom as we do the things that we do. We make our calls, we run our presentations, everything on Zoom. We have some very professional backgrounds that we give to all of our agents so that whenever they join with a client, that they know that we are professionals. Okay, so we have a dynamic lead source. We generate opportunities for leads in a lot of places, right? Take screenshot of this if you want to, but we have what we call a child safe kit that's nationally endorsed. And so we gather a lot of referrals from using the child safe kit, especially for families with young children. We have a current client base. We have a discount card that we offer, and we also work real heavy off referrals, right? So if we're working some of our leads, even if we don't make a sale, we do a presentation and we get 5 to 10 referrals from them. Yeah, that's a great thing for us. Now, I will say to you as well, so you might have heard from time to time companies that charge a lot of money for leads. We don't do that. We try to generate as many leads for all of our agents as we possibly can. Obviously, you have to work those leads and you have to learn to work those in a good manner as well. But we understand, like people need leads without having to put a lot of money into it on the front end. So we take care of all that for you as far as the leads. We just expect people to work them hard, okay? Because I know that's been the knock a lot of times. It seems like on other companies, it's like, hey, I joined this company, got my life and health license, I joined this company, but now what they want to do is just spend a lot of money on leads. Well, we want to help you with that. And obviously, if at any point you wanted to, you want to grow your business or help, if you're a leader and you want to help some of your people and you buy leads, we don't care about that. But that is not something that we would require with our company. Okay. So what does our process look like? We're going to meet clients at their request virtually by appointment. Okay. So we're going to call first. We're going to set up those appointments. If we can do what we call a now presentation, in other words, we set an appointment and they got time now. We're going to jump on Zoom with them and do it right then, walk through that presentation. In that process, we're going to develop rapport and trust. That's the most important thing that we're going to do, especially on virtual, because we're not face to face with them. We're just over Zoom, and so we've got to gather that rapport and gather that trust with them. Consult clients on benefits and insurance options to go over what they may have already, and show them how we can help them. And then last but not least, again, we're going to obtain referrals, not while we're in the home, but on a virtual basis, we're going to just gather referrals from them, from wherever they are, so that we can kind of continue to build that resource pool of leads that we have that we need to work. Okay. So the average for us, y'all, is going to be right at $67 per month or around $16 per week. That's kind of the average for us. It's going to include something like this. Take a screenshot of it if you'd like, but $15,000 on final expense plan. We write some a lot larger than that and smaller than that, just depending on their age and different things. $40,000 on income replacement, then a cash cancer, $10,000 a one-time lump sum if they had cancer, and then an accident protector max, just kind of an accidental plan that would help them and their children. All that for right at $67 per month. So also what it does is we do that presentation. We take a needs-based approach, right? We want to just help them understand maybe what they have and what that looks like for them, and they need to keep those things. We would just add something to fill the gaps if they already have something So we want to emphasize how we're different, right? What makes Globe Life Liberty National, what makes us different than anyone else in our industry? Well, we want to provide them that level of service. We want to make sure they understand we are their life insurance agent moving forward. And so we want to get that respect from them that they would make us their life insurance agent. The presentation, it really just kind of guides through an information and it educates them on not only the no cost benefits and those referring gatherers, but it generates a need analysis for them. So they tell us the things like how much money they make, what they already have, if they have term life or if they have whole life, what their mortgage is, and then it's going to give them a proposal as we go through the application process, which lasts 20 to 25 minutes. Here's just an example of what that home screen looks like. You're just going to click on that individual e-app. It's going to take you to something like this. Just really going to gather some very important information on the front end: date of birth, name, cell number, address. If they're married, tobacco user, different things. And then it's going to move on to, I skipped step 2, but step 3, it's going to talk about, do you own your own home? Mortgage balance, if you do, what do you owe? Different things like that, So those are just some steps that it goes through. And then here's what we want to find out too, just really for our information so we know where to go on the next level. Do they have any of these existing things that they have on a medical issue that they may have wrong with them? Okay. And then from there, here's the generated proposal that it's going to give them. So it's going to give them one based on non-inflation and the inflation for the future. And so really this generates all for us. It's very simple and very easy to use. So in other words, we're not just trying to talk them into something. We're going to show them, here's based on the information you gave us, here's what we feel like you need. Okay. So let's say you're doing 12 presentations a week. So if you're doing 12 presentations a week, you're going to have 4 sales out of that on an average, right? It could be more, could be less, but on an average, it's 4 out of 12, 33%. Each sale is going to be roughly $600 of what it says AP. That simply stands for annual premium. So that family or that individual is going to be spending about $600 per year with us. So if you had 4 sales at $600, you're going to have what we call a $2,400 total on an annual premium basis for that 1 week. Okay. So what does that look like for us, right? So let's just go to number 4 here, weekly sales. So 4 sales. If you go out to the right column, if you do 4 sales a week at the example we just showed, you're going to make roughly $70,000. Okay. In my first year with the company many years back, I made 78,000. Okay. And our training was not near as good as what it is now. And so I know if I can do it, you can do it. Let's say you want to make over 100,000. Well, make 7 sales a week and you'll make over 120,000. Now, this is just on an agent level, right? So we also have leadership levels available, and we'll talk more about those in just a minute. So one of the things I also hear a lot is from a lot of different industries, just that people join a company and then they don't get proper training. Well, we're not perfect and we're not 100% where we want to be, but my goal is really to help you get the proper training that you need so that you can be successful. Okay. So we have classroom training. That's just about an hour and a half to 2 hours that we do that during the week each day. You're going to learn presentation. You're going to learn products. You're going to be a part of field training. So you're going to have a couple of weeks where you're on Zoom just with your specific field trainer, manager, you might say, that's going to be helping you, making your calls with the scripts, making sure that you know how to run a presentation, how to close or how to down close. So it's kind of an observation to full participation over those full 2 weeks, right? The first day or two, you're just watching presentations, listening, learning, and then they're going to give you a little bit more each day. And before long now, they're going to be watching you. Okay. And at the end of that, 2 to 3 weeks, we do a release meeting or more of a certification meeting, just saying we feel like you're ready, to be on your own. Of course, we're still there to help. So one of the main reasons I'm doing what I'm doing is for our renewals. Okay. So our renewals here at Liberty National, we're paid each month on those renewals. Of course, you can build a large, renewal income. We are 10%, we are 10% vested per year, but 10 years we're 100% vested, right? So for me, I'm 100% vested, so I get all my renewals for the rest of my life. It's a beautiful thing. It's something I've worked hard for. My renewals have made a great difference in my lifestyle. So let's say you work for the company for 5 years and you left the company, then you would be 50% vested in the company, right? So let's say your renewals were $1,000 a month and you were 50% vested, you'd get $500 of that each month, okay? If you're 6 years and you get $600 of that thousand, right? But after 10 years, you get all of that for the rest of your life. Now, if you're working for the company, you get 100% of it, right? It's just only if you leave the company early where you would not get quite all of it, okay, based on the years of experience you have with the company, okay? So on a leadership level, if you look at renewals, is in the right column, right? So the average agency director per year makes right at $12,000 in renewals. The regional agency director makes right at $48,000 on average, and then the agency owner $211,000. Proud to say that mine are above even what you see here on the screen by a pretty decent amount. So our average income on the left side there, if you want to take a screenshot of this, please do as well. 114,000 on an average income for the agency director. That's for the full year. For the regional agency directors, 280,000, and then from my position, it's 650,000. Yeah, so that's just kind of some things you can look at for the average income along with the renewal. So who are we looking for? What type of person are we looking for? We're looking for team builders, right? We're looking for go-getters, people that understand, like, hey, here's what it looks like for me, and I want to grow. I'm coachable. I have high integrity. I believe in myself, and so I'm going to get out and make it happen. I'm going to get on the phone. I'm going to pound the phone, and I'm going to do the things I know I have to do to be successful, right? Which really for us, I mean, we are performance based, and so we've got to make sure that we're doing a good job so that we can provide income for our family. The cool thing about that is being performance based is nobody can tell you or nobody can tell me how much money I can or cannot make, right? So the last year in ministry, I was making in the mid 60s. And again, my first year at the company, as I said earlier, I made almost $80,000. So one of the reasons I joined the company was simply because I didn't want to cap there. Like I did not want somebody telling me what I was worth, okay? But as long as you're going to continue to work for that, 14, 16, $18 an hour, which there's nothing wrong with, you're always going to be kind of capped out and told like this is what we feel like you're worth. So earn what you're worth. Okay. Again, we are performance based. We are commission only, and that's what we're looking for. And if we're not a good fit, then that's fine. I get it. So our leadership advancement track. Here's what it looks like for us. You see on that career agent, roughly on that career agent again, it's about $56,000 on an average. You can kind of see 30 to 100,000. I will say I've got some agents in their first year with us that are going to make over 100,000, and I've got some that are going to make 30 or 40. Right? It's all what you put into it. It's what you're going to get out of it. Okay. But the reason I love this career track is because it kind of gives you that guide for where you want to be and how long it may take you. So the supervising agent, it says 2 to 6 months. We'll promote you within 6 to 10 weeks if you've kind of done those things that we've asked of you, that you're showing up, that you're working hard, you're following the system, you're following the scripts, because you would be a field trainer or Zoom field trainer at that point in time. Okay, then you can see the general agent. They make more money, they have more responsibility. Agency director, that's the greatest spot right there. That's where you want to be. And then regional agency director, and then agency owner. Okay, if you want to be an agency owner, I'll help you. I'll help you get there. We've actually promoted 4 agency owners within my offices, and we would help more. So whoever wants to be an agency owner, I had that opportunity. I'll provide that same opportunity for somebody else. Here's the great thing, and I won't talk much more about that on this career track. But the great thing about this is, if you've ever worked somewhere and you're bumping your head on the ceiling, right? You're working hard, but you're not going to advance, and there's nowhere for you to go because somebody already has that position. That can be really frustrating. So they've been there 20 years and you're not going to get it unless they pass away or retire. With us, we want promotions. Okay. We promote promotions. So we know that growth is how how we're going to grow the company is through other promotions. So we're going to help you promote if that's something you want. So that's one of the main reasons that I joined the company. Okay. So take a screenshot of this. Let's just talk a little bit about our financial stability, how strong we are, how we're viewed through AM Best, by Fitch, and then by Moody, Standard & Poor's. So again, you can do some more research on that. So let's talk about our culture. So the cool thing is we get to go, if we qualify, we get to go on to an annual convention every year. We've been to some awesome places. We've been to Las Vegas, of course. We've actually been to Nashville. And the cool thing was we had our award ceremony at the Grand Ole Opry. and I won my category that year. So I was backstage at the Grand Ole Opry. I got to see, all the memorabilia and cool things backstage. But then I got to walk out on stage, and it was pretty awesome, to be honest with you. We've been to Punta Cana a couple of times. We've been to Cancun. We've been to San Diego. We've been to a lot of nice places. So you get to take a guest with you on that. So if you qualify, and so we have a lot of people that qualify every year for this. Probably even cooler than that is that we actually give back everywhere we go as a company, and we call it Make Tomorrow Better. Because you can see, we're not don't want to brag, but with all the Globe companies, we gave over $4 million last year to help those that are less fortunate than us. So everywhere we go, whether it be for a convention, agency owner meeting, if I'm on council and I'm there for a council of champions for some of our top leaders in the company, everywhere we go, we actually give back financially. Many times we'll give just financially, but sometimes we'll also do hands-on projects as well with them. So that's one of the cool things, because I think for most of us, we know we make a good amount of money, and we want to be able to give back and bless other people the way that we've been blessed, financially. So what are some keys to success as we kind of wrap this up here? You got to have your life and health license, right? So you got to get your professional certification done. You got to have a smartphone or a laptop. It doesn't have to be anything like immediately got to have that laptop or whatever, but most people have a smartphone today, but you would have to have one as we move forward. That's how we take all of our applications, is through our laptop. So that is very important. And it also needs to be, like something that runs Windows, okay, on the laptop side. All right. So just letting you know that those two are very critical, especially for the remote market. You got to embrace our culture. You got to show up. You got to be on Zoom with us, because we're on Zoom together all day remote from that 12 o'clock until about 8:30. We're on Zoom together. So we're talking to each other. We're bouncing ideas off of each other. We're hearing each other make calls, running presentations. We bounce in and out of Zoom rooms. And then you got to have that self-starter attitude. We're looking for people that are hungry, that really, really, I know our company's wanting to open up, at least 10 new offices for the remote market. And so the great thing about remote market is, you may be in Florida, you may be in Alabama today, you may be in, California, Texas, wherever. That's the great thing, is that we can help you be successful from wherever you are, because we're not in any specific location office wise. So we're going to send you right now a Jotform link. So you get that on your phone. You may get it through email or both, probably, actually. But if you're on your phone, you should get that link right now. Go ahead, as soon as I'm done here. Wait just a few more minutes, but as soon as I'm done, fill that out for us. Get it back to us as soon as you can. We want to review that, and then what we'll do, the management team will evaluate those and reach back out to schedule that one-on-one, that final interview with some of the qualified candidates that we would see, to be like, hey, we want to move forward and at least get a chance to ask questions and meet each other, talk in person, one-on-one. So here's some requirements. I believe I've just got the Oklahoma and Texas. And if you're in other states, you can look these up as well, but take a screenshot of this. So, you have to be licensed in the state that you're in. So if you're in a different state, just look it up. It'll give you kind of what the requirements are for that. But typically the study course is going to be the same for every state, $49, which would be due the day of hiring. Okay. In Oklahoma, it's a $38 state test fee. And then the Oklahoma background check is about $65. All right. Some states, that's all you have to have. The fees may change a little bit. And then other states, I put this up there as well for Texas. The $49 for the study course, again, it's $199 normally. We take care of $149 of that for you, so it only costs you $49. That's kind of your commitment to yourself. The state test fee through Texas is $49. Now in Texas, they have to do fingerprints, which some other states are like that as well. So again, you can look yours up. And then the background in Texas is about $50. So most of this is going to be pretty much similar. The fees are going to be a little bit different in every state. Some states do have to have a fingerprint, some don't. We can talk more about that on the final interview with you as well, and what that process looks like. We can help coach you through that. Okay. So again, listen, hey, I just want to say thanks for joining me. I hope it's been helpful for you. Hopefully I've respected your time, and we hope to talk to some of you on a one-on-one very soon. Thank you much.